stay free, and enjoy more of what the world has to offer in this action one, because this is where most human beings screw the pooch.
So a little one-person trampoline, very
If I screen shared it, like there's no excuse. Like phone numbers are just out there. You just got to pick up the phone, smile, and dial. So.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to yet another episode, 284, by God. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Talk Terror Morning Show, where we go over tips, tricks, ideas, and exercises to help make you the absolute best entrepreneur you can be, not only for yourself, but for the people you love and care about most. And I don't think our topic could be any more spot on today with that. The idea that we are mourning, supporting, and loving the people who we do care about most. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about death and talk about Memorial Day. So, and I promise it's not as negative and as rough as you hear the word death and you're like, sheesh. Don't need to talk about that, hear about that, want to learn about that, but it actually is, it's pretty wild how beneficial death really is for humans with creating a sense of urgency, with valuing what you have. We didn't understand what we had until it was gone, and there's a bunch of lists that we can go over and dive into on why death is so important, and also really making sure that we're comfortable with it in the right ways so we don't restrict ourselves. I think we can restrict ourselves from doing things. I mean, if you weren't going to ever get hurt or do anything, then, you know, you wouldn't be cautious, which from a survival perspective has great benefits, right? And then also on the other side of it with death, it's coming for us no matter what. So building a relationship with the inevitable, I think, can be really healthy for anyone. And I know it's been really healthy for me, and it's been fun looking up, kind of reading articles and reading books. My favorite book that talks a lot about death, and this, it's called Man's Search for Meaning. A Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. One of my best friends recommended it, read it, loved it, cherished it. One of the greatest pieces. The dude's in the Holocaust, and then he gets out and he kind of talks about how life really is and what's the meaning of it and how you find your meaning. And then he got close to death. Of course, he was in the freaking concentration camps. So it could always be worse. Someone's always had it worse and always done more, right? So let's talk a little bit more about death, and shout out to all of our soldiers, all of the people who continue to strive and put food on the table, fight for our country, and do all these amazing things. So on Memorial Day, did you guys know Memorial Day used to be called, what did it say over here? Decoration Day. It was originated after the American Civil War as Decoration Day, a time for communities to decorate the graves of fallen soldiers with flowers and flags. Over time, it evolved into a national holiday observed on the last Monday in May. Last Monday in May for Memorial Day, to pay tribute to the sacrifices of those who've made the ultimate sacrifice in defense of their nation. Yeah. So fallen soldiers in the United States, and man, Civil War, literally the worst type of a war, right? Having a war with yourself. And it seems the timing of things is so crazy, how we live here today in 2023, kind of doing our thing, looking at the problems that we have. But it's so easy to get bogged down on, say you're working on a product, say you're working on a business, say you're working on this or you're working on that. I think it's so easy to get wrapped up into that and then forget that what we really, really want more than anything is the freedom of choice, the freedom to be with our loved ones, to be with our friends and family, to be able to create healthy people, for us to become healthier, for us to get better. Because when you're at war, pretty much all of those amazing things are taken away, right? I'm sure you've talked to veterans who've been through the ringer or just talking to or hearing stories on in history. I like reading about history, and right now I'm reading a new book that I just picked up. It's about Barack Obama and handling some of the turmoils and stuff that the country was going through at the time, which is wild to think that there was so much going on and so much battle overseas and resources and all this crazy stuff going on right after one of the biggest financial crashes, if not the biggest financial crash in American history, with the housing bubble popping and stuff. And Obama coming to office there. This isn't a history lecture, so I won't keep diving in there too deep, but I did want to bring up, I didn't know that Memorial Day was actually based off of, is originated right after the Civil War. So shout out to all of our veterans. Thank you all so much for doing everything that it is you do. And really, I think it's time to get into a couple quick tips, tricks, and ideas to help us when it comes to mourning the death of soldiers and people. So our goal today is we're going to help think about people who we care about. We're going to think about the mourning process. And then also I'm just going to give us some reasons why it is important to, I think everyone grieves in their own way. And I think just these meat and potato points are really helpful for us finding peace as this happens, right? This isn't a peaceful, it's a process. I wouldn't say it's a super peaceful process because mourning includes a lot of pain, includes a lot of discomfort, but I think it's very natural and very needed for us to continue to live as human beings, for us to continue to be better people, for us to feel that sense of urgency. And damn it, we need to take advantage of the time that we are alive, right? What is it? What are you working on? What is it that you want to do? You don't want to. I need to grab a charger real quick. This computer is going to die. And my computer's over here. Good morning. Good morning. Is everyone having a good morning this morning? Did everyone have a good Memorial Day weekend? Did anybody eat some good cookout food? Did anybody get to play some games? I actually got to see I got to see a ton of friends. I got to see a ton of family. I got to eat a ton of food. It was really, really fun. Got to play some games. If you're looking for a new board game, I'm telling you, you should look into Rumacub. Played it last night with my sister, her boyfriend, and my girlfriend, and it was really fun. Rumacub. Have to check it out. It was a really fun game. My girlfriend won, unfortunately, but I'm going to get her next time. Oh, I'm so competitive when it comes to board games. I'm like, I got to win this. We got to do this. Got to get the job done. But man, it's been fun. And man, I hope you all had a lot of fun with your friends and family, doing what it is that you want to do, what you need to do. And my gosh, thankfully most companies let you have the day off work, relax. I know I didn't do a morning show yesterday, and we're talking a little bit about the memorials and mourning of the death. All right, thanks for being patient with me as let's go ahead and get into our 5 points. So point number 1, emotional healing. Point number 1, emotional healing. So reasons to grieve, reasons to mourn, and how it can be beneficial for you is when you lose a loved one, mourning, grieving, and taking the time to think about them, to love them, to look at the memories and stuff is for your emotional healing. I think there's a deepness and a sadness when it comes to death that cannot be compared. And it is very beneficial for us to be able to be with this sadness. When you feel sadness, when you feel it in maybe a particular part of your body, maybe it's in the chest, Maybe it's a heaviness on your shoulder. Maybe it feels like a weight that you can't move or budget because you lost someone you love very deeply and you care about. Mourning for them, and I think it's always a good idea to check in with this other person. They are not there with us anymore, but ask, what would these people want for us? What would these people want us to do with our lives? What would the person who you're mourning for, how would they want you to handle this process? They'd be like, yeah, cry for me, but live for me, right? Go out there and fricking live, do this, set it up. Take the time to give your attention and your love to these people and feel and lean into the pain and not being scared to do this. I think it's so often one of my clients, this is a really sad story, so I'll try not to choke up, but this really, really nice guy. And unfortunately his wife passed away, and they're in their 40s. And yeah, he was finding it was very, very hard for him to find the good in this situation, which is very, very understandable. And whether you believe in everything happens for a reason or not, or the simple fact that life is very, very fragile. It is not fair, but it is fragile. And your life can be taken in a moment's notice, and it's not fair when it happens. And it's very, very sad and unfortunate because he has a family, and they and he will miss his wife very greatly. So it's really tough. But he needs a lot of emotional healing. He has children, and he has to continue to work. He has to continue to move forward. He has to continue to push. He has to continue to create a life for these people that he wants to live, that they want to live. Their lives are not over. And I think it's very dangerous, and you have to be careful of getting too sucked into it. And then also considering the fact that this is part of the process, right? I promise everything will get better with time, especially when we have the right lens, when we have the right clarity, and we have the right intentions. So emotional healing and giving time to do that. Number 2, social support. Number 2, the reason why mourning and gathering and learning and thinking about death is so important is for social support. Maybe you need to reconnect with people who you're close to, people in your community, friends, family, people who you haven't seen or talked to in a while. It's wild how death brings us together in a way. And also just the point here is to feel less isolated. You are not alone. No one is alone. It's a go figure, another one of those paradoxes in life. Your human experience is unique to you. When you really think about it, like you're the one who has the lights on, you're the one who's thinking about this, and nobody else is. But it's a paradox because billions of other people are feeling the exact same way as you and are going through the same exact thing. So it's your experience is isolated and unique to you, but it's not special in the way that your problems, your feelings, and your emotions are completely on you, about you, and isolated to you. And I think social support, looking for social support and connecting with people is really, really important when it comes to the grieving process. So maybe you want to talk to one of your family members about death. Maybe you want to talk to them about a grandparent that used to be alive. Maybe you just want to talk to a family member in general about how you handle it. Maybe you're just preparing for the future in general. Maybe in a nice light, not saying when you're going to die, or think about, have you thought about death? Have you thought about your relationship with it? And it doesn't need to be the first thing you bring up at a dinner table, but what you can do is kind of just look for openings and ways to connect with people on this. I mean, it it was just freaking Memorial Day yesterday, so it's not that far out of left field for a talking topic. But I think it's really important for people to acknowledge that that is a beautiful thing when it comes to the mourning process, is the social connection that you get with other people. And it's like, look at how many people are still alive who care about this person who has unfortunately passed, and connecting with them and living for them in all the right ways. So social support, I wanted to put on there. Tip number 3, honoring and remembering. It's really good to just honor and remember people for what they've done. Look at all the good that they've done. What learning lessons did they provide? And I think everyone deserves, especially the shout out to all the soldiers who have fallen, really think about and remembering. And we were talking a little bit about history the other day. One of my favorite history books is called Leadership in Turbulent Times. I think that book's amazing. And they talked a lot about different time periods, and one of them, Lincoln and the Civil War, and how many people were really dying for the right for people to live the life that they choose, to not be truly, I know we don't joke around. We talk about oppression and this and that. And it's like, dude, you think that's bad. And then you go back to the Civil War times, and that's how truly brutal and awful some people and humans were treated just in this country alone. And remembering how far we've come and honoring the people who are willing to sacrifice their life to make this possible. So whenever I sit here and I think about the things that are not going perfect, it can be just a good reminder or nudge that's like, man, if I didn't have my safety, if I didn't have my protection, if I didn't have some certainty in these important human needs, that's all I would think about. I wouldn't be thinking about, oh, the floors at my duplex. Oh, there's a scratch in it. It looks like shit. It's not going to sell on the market. I'm not going to get any money for it. I'm a loser. And it's like, holy crap. What are we really talking about here? Comparing investments that we have, that we're working on, me and my girlfriend, compared to, oh my gosh, the thought of being dead from dying in a war, getting shot and laying in the mud. That's what a lot of them happened. That's what happened to a lot of people. That's how their story ended. Literally hundreds of thousands of them. That's how their story ended. So kind of remembering that and honoring them and be like, man, you gave the ultimate. I'm just so grateful. And it's okay to be grateful, right? I'm very grateful for the sacrifices that have been made. And I'm going to continue to honor the people. And I think taking the time to do that consistently is very, very important. So sense of closure comes to terms with the reality of the loss. So when you are gone and someone passes away, it almost seems like we need a process to navigate ourselves, to navigate our emotions, and understand that they've gone on to a peaceful place where there's no suffering, or whatever your system is. Maybe you believe in heaven. Maybe you believe in just a peaceful state in the universe forever. They talk about how when an energy leaves a body, or a soul, it gets cold when the soul goes. It can be a number of different things, but giving yourself a sense of closure as they go on to the next phase. I think that part of the process is really beneficial when you're talking about mourning death for soldiers, for people, etc. And then last but not least, personal growth and transformation. I think just continue to get closer to death, giving it time, acknowledging that it is in the future for all of us, and then just living the life that we truly want to live. We only truly know that we get one good shot at this life, and that our youth is up to a certain point, middle age, then older age. Like, what do you want to do during these cycles of your life? And say you haven't done everything that you've wanted to do yet. What is one step that you could take today in order to get closer to what it is that you truly want tomorrow? Think to yourself, do I need to go pick up a book from the library? I'm reading another book on history. One I was mentioning, it's called A Promised Land from Barack Obama. It's super detailed. It is like 700 pages. It's probably going to take me a while, but I read the first 20 pages and I thought it was pretty good, so I'm going to keep going. That's usually how far I read into a book to gauge whether I like it or not. Or maybe you want to go work out. You want to go lift weights. My girlfriend's off for the summertime, so we're going to go start lifting together midday, which I'm excited for. Additionally, working on, maybe it's a business idea. Maybe it's health, or maybe it's trying to cook those healthy foods. Maybe you just ate so many calories over the Memorial Day weekend. They're like, holy crap, Tanner, I need to run a little bit. I need to drink some water. I need to drink something healthy. Shout out to Athletic Greens. And I got like iodine, vitamin C packets, this immune support stuff, some oil, it's like D3, K2. What else do I got in here? I can't remember. I think I have one more thing in here. Anyway, maybe you want to just start making your own concoctions to feel a little healthier, to feel a little better. You know, I drink these and then I only have to have 1 cup of coffee late morning versus having to drink 3 cups of coffee, bam, right in the morning, and I can't get up and get going. So, what are your personal development hacks? What do you want to improve for yourself? Think about it, make a list out, and just start small. Don't be scared to start small. And maybe we're looking at this and we want to just remember we're not here forever. Many more people will die that we are close to, and we need to live our best lives for these people. And I think this is the greatest gift that we can give back, is being better people for the people we love and care about. But just for my video editor, this was 5 benefits for mourning the death for soldiers and other people. Get in touch with your emotional healing, create social support, gathering around with other people to mourn through the process, honor and remember what these people gave, what you learned from them, sense of closure, knowing that this is all part of the process of being human, right? We're born, we live, we die. And lastly, what are you going to do with your life in the time that you have? And is it going to be focused on personal growth? And hopefully this can create a transformation for yourself. That's all I had on here. Shout out to all the soldiers again who have paid the ultimate price, the biggest tax you can ever pay. And thank you to all the soldiers for everything that you do to protect our country. I am forever in your debt, and thank you so much. Additionally, I hope everyone has an incredible day. Enjoy. I hope everyone had a good holiday. We're getting back into the work week. Let's get it going. Let's have a good week. Let's wrap it up. It's short, so we got to play a little catch up. We got some stuff we want and can get done, so let's get on it. Here to help support you on your journey. If you know someone who needs a coach for personal and professional development, reach out to T-Dog. I'm taking on new clients for my 6-week course, and I'll be back here live again Wednesday morning at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time with another episode of the Talk Tanner Morning Show. Cheers to all you friends. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace. Oots.